Hello readers! Welcome to part 2 in my shelf mastery video. If you haven't already, be sure to check out the announcement where I talk about why I'm doing this and what kind of videos you can expect to catch in the series. As a reminder, this isn't just about me. I was hoping you guys would come along on the journey and that we can help keep each other accountable in regards to preventing some of the consumerisms that we experience by being on BookTube. But for me, I think the biggest thing was addressing the anxiety that the unread books I'm surrounded with is causing me right now. As in most cases where you want to address an issue, I think it's important to kind of start with a foundation and figure out what that starting point is, what that looks like. So for me, I wanted to take inventory of all of the books in my library, and I wanted to figure out how many of those were read and how many were unread. I know for some people the idea of doing this is a little bit intimidating. For me it was as well, but I did want to have an accurate representation of what those numbers look like for me, not just what I think they look like. So let's get counting.
Today or period, because we've got so many hours in on this. I'd say an hour and a half, 2 hours per day, and this is day 3.
How much do you think we have left?
And this is just ebooks.
Yeah, but the ebooks, that's it. After that, we're done.
We're on page 3 of 4.5. So let's see what's going on here. I'd say we're about 2/3 of the way done with this 200. How many books? Let's see if we do some maths.
There should be like after
400. We've probably done about 470 books right now. So we're about halfway through.
Oh my god.
A little over half.
Thanks for helping.
You're welcome.
John. So firstly, I want to give a really big thank you to my husband, John. I don't think I could have tackled this without him. There were a few times where I kind of just wanted to give up. I'm sure he probably just wanted to give up, but together we were able to get through everything. He kind of typed things out for me sometimes while I called out the title names, and at other times he helped me move books from room to room. So he was a really big help. And this seems like the perfect time to let you guys know that he just started a YouTube channel called BookTube Hubby, where he's going to be vlogging and kind of chronicling all his adventures as he goes with me and with some other booktubers on events and stuff like that. So I will be sure to link to his account in the description below. Once again, thank you, John. I couldn't have done it without you. I love you. Thank you. If you noticed in some of the B-roll footage that I included, we were using a spreadsheet, and I put something together that would calculate and kind of split up how many hardcovers I had, how many paperbacks I had, how many audiobooks, how many ebooks, the total of books that I have, and how many were read and how many were unread. If you're interested in detailing and cataloging your own library, I'll be sure to provide the blank document in the description below. My only request is that if you share it with your friends, please share the video as a whole and not just the link to the spreadsheet. Some of the things that I didn't include while I was counting was any cookbooks I had, any textbooks, any resource books. If I was not planning to read the book in its entirety at some point, then I did not include it in my cataloging. It's also important to note that I've moved around a few times, and I probably have quite a few boxes of books in storage somewhere still. I don't even know if they're salvageable, but those books are not going to be included. So anything that I have put away in a box in storage was not included in this list. I do feel like I have to preface things a little bit before we jump into the numbers here. They ended up being radically worse than I was expecting. I was aware that I had a book buying problem. I think I've always had a book buying problem. I am almost 40 years old. I've been collecting for quite a few years. I'm finding it hard to imagine what my library would look like if I was including all the books I had in storage. So I'm glad I'm not. But this wasn't about money or the purchases. This was more about feeling like I can't catch up. Internally, I just felt like the read to unread ratio was probably a little bit ridiculous, and I wanted to start doing something to correct that. Please know that I understand I'm privileged in being able to afford this many books, but also that a lot of the books I've purchased, I've either purchased from Book Outlet or I've gotten plenty of ebooks on sale. That actually was one of the issues, was that I was subscribed to multiple newsletters that would let me know whenever a book was $2.99 as an ebook. One of the biggest contributors to my unread books is those ebooks, and I think it was just really easy to download them and forget about them. That being said, my purchases have never left me in a bad place. There wasn't any time where I was sacrificing necessities for the books that I was purchasing. And as someone who freelances as a graphic designer in addition to working full-time, my income ebbs and flows, and there's other contributing factors. So, you know, when I needed to cut back on buying books, I did. And when I felt like I could splurge, I did. So anyway, I guess I should just spit it out already. So like I said, the books were categorized in the spreadsheet. In Audible, I have 104 audiobooks. I own 210 hardcovers. I actually prefer to buy books in paperback, so I have 462 paperbacks. As for ebooks that were often downloaded and forgotten, I have 864 ebooks. That makes for a total of 1,573 books. Out of all of those books, I have read 151 books, which means that 1,422 books are unread. I do have multiple copies of some books, whether it's having the UK cover and the American cover, or there are times where I have purchased books in multiple formats. So for example, I have the hardcover, the paperback, the ebook, and the audiobook of Strange the Dreamer, but those only count as one book and one title. As I was cataloging the ebooks, one of the things that I realized is that a lot of the titles were just kind of these off-the-wall titles that I didn't recognize. I didn't know who the author was. I'm pretty sure that when I first started reading ebooks, I was just downloading all the free ones. So one of the things I'm going to make sure that I do is go back, read the synopsis, think about whether or not I really want to read them, and being as that the majority of them are free, I can probably just delete them off my Kindle and not have the stress of telling myself that I'm going to read all of these books one day. So yeah, I realized that those numbers are kind of nuts, and I had no idea. Like, I really had no idea. And I think a big part of that was that, you know, ebooks, I just had them in my pocket on my phone. I had like 800 some odd books on my phone, and I just had no idea. So once again, if cataloging your books and kind of getting that same picture is something that you'd like to do, you can find a link to the spreadsheet in the description below. My next video is going to be setting up rules that I'm going to apply in 2019 to make sure that I'm reading more and buying less. Once you've taken inventory of your own library, if you'd like to come back and drop some of your numbers in the comments, that would be great. If you have no desire to catalog your books, that's fine as well. But I do hope you'll continue to follow me on this journey. So be sure to subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell to be notified when I upload new videos. Thanks for watching and see you next time.